Good luck.
All right, that's recording. All right, what I'm going to do is a quick word from the sponsors. First sponsor is me, FIFO by Aaron Weston. Fantastic, funny as novel, available at Aaron Weston author Instagram account. Then you got the children's books by Aaron White, available on Facebook. So Australian mining machines, Australian firefighters, Australian paramedics, Australian Defence Force machines, mining machines colouring in book. Two more, you got Australian police vehicles, Australian surf lifesavers, all available at Children's Books by Aaron White on Facebook. Just click on the shop now button and away you go. And also today's sponsor, Off Access Apparel, got the hat, got the t-shirt. Check them out, Off Access Apparel on Instagram, Facebook, and offaccessapparel.com. All right, do the little intro. Hi everyone and welcome to the Aaron White Show. Today I have a fantastic guest, Antaliya. Antaliya is a WA State Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu champion. And yeah, just welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Cool. Hey, today I just want to hear your story, like how and where you grew up, any life-changing events, and how you end up doing what you're doing today.
Okay, so as you know, my name's Antaliya Drakulic, and I'm 16 years old, who's currently doing Year 11 ATAR and MMA, as well as a hobby to teach mixed martial arts to young kids. I grew up in Newcastle, Sydney, before moving to Perth at the age of 6. Life-changing events. I've only lived a small portion of my life, so I haven't really had any major life-changing events or setbacks, but I have to say bullying was definitely something that changed who I am today and added something positive in my life rather than setting me back, which is a bit weird because you'd think bullying is quite a massive issue in our society, unfortunately. But it actually gave me the opportunity to do something that I love. So basically in primary school, I was actually continuously bullied for a whole year by the same boy. He encouraged others to bully me as well, but he wouldn't only just tease me, he would physically bully me and push me around and call me names and stuff, to the extent that I basically begged my parents to stop sending me to school. And it got quite serious, and I completely lost my self-confidence, especially since I was already quite a shy, emotional kid. But and he was stronger than me as well, so it was definitely not, a good feeling to go every day to school and just be pushed around by, a stronger force. But my parents tried lots of things, and we had meetings with the school and everything. And they just gave me excuses after excuses of why he was bullying me and why I was okay. So it was a bit of a setback, but my parents, they led me into MMA. And although it cut deep back then, it led me into doing something that I love today. And although my dad basically had to drag me out the car to start MMA because I was really scared about it. And I was, I walked in and I saw this girl with like a broken arm, and then, the whole cage was there and everything. And I was like, the adrenaline was pumping, and I was thinking of like this whole big scary thing. But I actually fell in love with the sport and my gym. So even though bullying was quite, a traumatizing thing back then, and it really like pulled me down, thankfully my parents encouraged me, and dragging me out the car actually got me doing something that I love today.
That's very true. I'm a big believer in everything happens for you and not to you. So that bullying happened, so then you could become the person you are today. So you would actually go in to do that MMA. Now you're teaching other kids. So you're, by that one bullying you, one person, you're actually now helping many people. So that one boy did you a favor, because now you've developed this gift, and now you're sharing your gift. So you've become a better person. You've grown as a better person, and now you're teaching other people, and you're helping them become better people. That girl that broke her arm, did she break her arm from MMA or just?
She was actually, it was funny because she was actually just messing around and she broke her wrist. So it wasn't actually from MMA. So like I had like this huge idea that I was going to go in there and like break a bunch of bones and everything, but it was actually quite a welcoming environment. And as soon as you like start getting into it, it just starts being more fun rather than, this whole scary idea of like fighting and all this stuff. It was actually more of like a friendly environment where everyone sort of came to let all their feelings out, and learn all these new moves and ideas and stuff, and it sort of just makes your day in the end.
Yeah, so it's like a big
Yeah.
community, like another little family for you to go there and hang out with and stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Have you hurt yourself while
So
doing all your training and stuff and competing?
I did. On my first lesson, I managed to push all the bones in my foot into my other bones, and I don't know how I managed to do that, but it was hilarious because I told my dad that I hurt my foot, and he was like, "Oh, it's fine, thinking that it wasn't a massive thing. But then he saw my foot after, and it was like swollen and everything, so we had to go to the hospital and stuff. So it was actually funny because I hurt myself on the first lesson. But and then it took him like even more time to get me back into it. But thankfully, as slowly I got back into it, it sort of turned into like this massive thing. So
what ended up happening
yeah.
with a bully? Did you learn MMA and then go back and confront him, or you just changed schools, or what happened there?
So I guess I sort of learned that being punched in the face wasn't the worst thing in the world. And as you sort of go there, you learn that all these things aren't like massive like impacts in your life. And you sort of learn to focus on like the big things rather than these small setbacks. And I didn't really exactly go back and do anything, but it just helped me sort of ignore them. And sort of, if something did happen, I had the feeling that I knew how to defend myself. And like even that physical confrontation, like I knew I could defend myself, but in the same way I was able to say no, that's not okay, and stop him from doing all that stuff, and sort of just pull myself up and say I don't need to focus on them, I've got more bigger things in life like MMA, family and stuff. So it really helped just for me to realize what's important to me in life and to ignore those small setbacks and sort of really gain the self-confidence to sort of ignore these kids and
Cool. Hey, so what have you competed in? I only had a quick flick through Strike's Instagram account last night. So you've done WA State or something. What have you competed in?
Yes, I've competed I think in 2 state competitions and one like winter jiu-jitsu competition, and I came first in all 3 of them. But unfortunately with school starting to really hammer me down, and I guess the whole COVID thing happened, it was like competitions weren't a big thing. So it really sort of stopped my opportunity to sort of go into these competitions, especially before ATA and everything.
Yeah.
So, but it was actually good to go into all the competitions and everything because you sort of get all that adrenaline rush going through, and then you can sort of use all those things that you've learned in class and sort of like put it into like those 4 minutes of rolling. So it's good.
Are you going to get back? Like, has COVID shut that down fully, or is that all back running now? Stopping you?
It's back into running now, but it's just a bit difficult because school is like my main focus at the moment, just because these next 2 years sort of setting me up for life. So I would love to start like competing again, but I just know that I can't put in 110%, which sort of, so I know that I can't succeed as far as I would want to. So because I know a lot of the guys in our gym, they like spend their weekends training and have all this stuff, to prepare for these like the comps and everything. And I just don't want to do something that I'm not going to put 110% effort into.
Yeah.
So I feel like at the moment I will just concentrate on ATA and, use my experience to teach little kids because it's really sweet to see them, learn all their combos and everything. But probably when like ATAR finishes and I start having more time on my hands, I'll start, going into the whole competitions and stuff. And
what do you want to be? Like, what are you studying for? You going to go to uni and all of that?
Yes, I'm currently doing 6 ATARs, mainly science and math based. So I'm thinking of probably doing an engineering degree. So I'm not sure yet what field of engineering I want to go into, but I've chosen lots of ATARs that will sort of open those windows for me. But I'm thinking of something maybe chemical or environmental or something along those lines, just because it's interesting to sort of I don't know, create things that can help out in the world, especially like chemical. You've got like pharmaceuticals and things, and the environmental, the whole like climate change and everything. So I can be an impact in that and stuff.
Are lots
So
of people your age thinking more towards that, like more towards like trying to make a difference in the world as opposed to just trying to get a job to make money? Are you
yeah, there's lots of kids are going towards the sciences, like particularly in medicine and things, because lots of my friends want to do like physiotherapy, sports science. I've got a few wanting to do like health for like well-being, like exercise, and promoting like healthy foods and things. So it's actually good that I've got quite a few people who are looking more on environmental health based things rather than just looking at the money beneficial side of things. So
cool. Hey, how do you go with social media? Is there much bullying on social media, or are you guys using social media to like positive things, or?
I haven't experienced any bullying on there, and I don't know of any bullying on there. I think when you get to a certain age, everyone sort of realize that it's just like the small things.
Yeah.
Because I know, when you're younger in primary school, you guys don't exactly have an idea of what's the difference between, your values and everything, having fully established all your beliefs and things. But definitely, because I only got social media recently, and I haven't, there's been no bullying or anything, and it's sort of it's just out of positive community, and you get to see what all your friends are doing, and you all say, oh, that's great, and you sort of like encourage each other more than pull each other down. So
No, I
it's more
agree
of a
with you.
positive community than anything.
That's what I found with Instagram. I found that Facebook, also the older crowd just whinge all the time, and it's quite negative. Whereas Instagram is quite positive, and as you said, it's more uplifting. Like you chuck on something, and then people are like, "Oh yeah, that looks fun, and that looks awesome." It's quite positive. So I
Yeah.
haven't found Instagram as being negative whatsoever. Hey, how did COVID affect you guys last year? Was it hard to do your studying and stuff like that?
Because fortunately, COVID wasn't a massive problem in Western Australia because we only had, I think, was it 2 weeks of lockdown last year?
Yeah.
It wasn't such a big, and thankfully it was like between the school holidays. But it was a bit difficult because you can actually, go through your lessons and everything, especially since you had to do everything online and it wasn't through actual lessons, but you sort of got given work and you had to work through it. But I guess it sort of just helped me focus on like particular areas that I wasn't excelling as much in. So I sort of gave me more time to do those things, but it was a bit annoying though because like the gym was closed and everything, so you couldn't exactly go finish off your day with like a few rolls and stuff. So it was a bit difficult, not going because you're used to like this daily routine and it gets all stopped. It is a bit, it just feels a bit weird, but in the end you sort of like get to realize that like all these small things that you didn't think like could impact you that much sort of are a massive influence in your life, like going through schooling, MMA, and then even just sitting at home with your family and stuff. It sort of opens your eyes more than anything.
Oh, cool, cool. Well, I think you've covered most of the stuff I had written down. What else is going on in your life? Anything interesting you want to chat about, or?
um well, at the moment it's just mainly schooling, and I still train MMA and jiu-jitsu 4 times a week,
Yeah.
for like 1 hour Wednesdays and Mondays jiu-jitsu, and then I teach kids, the prodigy kids, for half an hour on Mondays and Wednesdays, and then I've got 2 hours on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But it's a bit difficult sometimes just because last week I had like 4 tests and 2 assignments, so I couldn't exactly go every single day. But so yeah, I do MMA jiu-jitsu, and then I also occasionally do morning boot camps. I'm not sure if you've heard of Bing's boot camp.
No.
It's a 5 a.m. boot camp. It's called Bing's boot camp, where you just go and we usually, David's daughter, the owner of our gym, we go together sometimes, and you sort of wake up really early and on the beach, and you sort of train and build up your strength and everything. So
Is that just down Sega Harbour Beach or Port Kennedy, or?
I think it's Port Kennedy or Kwinana Beach. There's
Oh,
like
yeah.
a little there's like a hill and stuff, so you do like a bunch of exercises, and it gets really tiring because we've got kettlebells, and you have to run up and down the hill, and it really gets your heart pumping, and sort of sets you well for like the day ahead because you've already sort of like you've woken up early and you've already like finished all your like exercise and stuff, so you feel good for the rest of the day.
It doesn't wear you out. It actually gives you energy working out in the morning.
Yeah, for me, and especially when I get home, I have like a smoothie or something, so you sort of feel, all that refreshed and everything. And like sometimes it is a bit tiring because as soon as you get towards the end of your day, you start feeling like the tiredness coming in, especially like doing boot camp and then school all day, then MMA. But it's still, something refreshing to do in the morning. So
I'm definitely a big morning workout person. When I'm at work, I actually get up at, I think the alarm goes off at 2:30, between 2:30 and 3 a.m. That's when I get
yeah.
up to go work out. And then I
Oh
go do a
wow.
12 and a half hour day driving the dump trucks and stuff like that. But I'm in bed by like 7:30. So instead of like staying up
Yeah.
till 9 something and trying to get up at
9.
5, just reverse it a bit.
Yeah.
How do the little kids go at MMA? Is it hard to get them motivated into it? As you said, you found it hard when you first started going there. Are you finding the kids find it hard, or they find it hard, or what?
There's a few that you sort of have to, they like start like running up to their mums and everything because, of course, they started quite earlier because it's between 4 and 7 years old. And I started mine when I think I was about 9. So it is a bit of a difference. But it's actually amazing to see how, even though like it's quite daunting and things, all the other kids like encourage them to do things, and you sort of like get them to go at the back and have a look at all the equipment and sort of do all the like the punching and things, and they start, after a while they start showing you and start to actually get you to come see what they're doing, which is actually really cute and funny because they'll be like, oh, look what I've learned, and they like show you a combo or takedown, and it's actually like, even your son, I can see him progressing. And now when I like call a combo or something, at the start they had no clue, but they're slowly like remembering it. So it's actually good to see that they're really like enjoying it, and they're like, the other kids are also, they're so created like a small like family where they can have fun but at the same time, learn all the combos and everything. And you can really see them like setting goals for themselves, and they like even challenge each other to see who can do more punches and everything, so they're really like trying to push themselves. So it's actually good to see like all of them, developing. And I know even a few kids from, not particularly the prodigy kids because they're younger, but the younger ones in the older classes, they even had a few bullying experiences. So it's good to even see their confidence build up over time, especially since I've been there for about 5 years now. I can see how the kids have progressed and everything. So it's actually nice to see how they've like come so far from, being really low in self-esteem and everything, and built themselves up to even like ignore them the way I did, not to just go, beat them up or something. Because our gym promotes more of like a friendly environment, rather than, when you think of MMA, it's more like violence and, fighting and everything. But it's actually good that in our gym particularly, that it's more of like a friendly environment where everyone can just come in and, settle down and then go out into the world and, use it more of as a positive thing rather than like a negative thing. So it's good, yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. Is there many girls doing it these days? Are you finding like girls your ages and stuff like that? Because I think back in the day it used to be like mainly like a guy type thing, but now it looks like there's more girls
Yeah.
getting into it.
Definitely. We even have a women's class on Wednesdays and Mondays from 5 to 6. And it's actually quite a big class. And in the MMA class, we've got about 4 girls in there. So even though it's not like a massive deal, you still have got like quite a few. And even like in the little kids class, there's definitely a few girls in there. And it's good to see even their self-confidence like build up as well. Because you would see them like, challenging the boys and stuff, and like they're not like scared to, participate in things. So it's good to really see that girls are like starting to get into it rather than just being more of a male associated sport.
With the when the girls start competing and stuff, because obviously their internal organs are completely different to ours, and they need to protect them. When you guys do MMA, do you have to wear like some sort of like belly shields or anything like that? Some sort of padding there, or is it all just the same?
No, I know because jiu-jitsu, women tend to do jiu-jitsu more. I think just because it's a lot more of groundwork and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know, I tend to enjoy jiu-jitsu more than MMA, especially like learning all the new submissions and everything. But because it's not quite like at our gym, it's not like a very, hardcore contact, like punching in the stomach and things, and you're sort of like cautious of what's going on. You're not gonna, punch someone where like you're not meant to punch them and things. But I don't think we do wear headgear and stuff, but not particularly like for belly and stuff. So I'm not sure for that one.
Cool. Well, I think today we've covered quite a few different things, which is quite cool. The whole bullying, with the social media. Oh, also the jiu-jitsu and the MMA, which is the main one. With the social media, did you only just hop on it because your parents kept you off it, or did you just not want to get on it?
I wasn't particularly fond of it, but it was a bit difficult though because everyone's using social media for even like study and stuff. So you've got like group chats where we all help each other out and things.
Yeah.
And even like MMA, Strike MMA is on there and things. So I've sort of gotten it recently, but before I just didn't think it was like necessary, especially since I was so young. There was like a lot more better things to do. So yeah.
And when you're allowed to get it's funny just because there's different changes, because obviously I'm older than you, grew up in a different generation.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of like when we could get our license, I got it straight away. But I hear lots of people just like, oh, they're in no rush to get the driver's license. Are you like, as soon as you're allowed to get your driver's license, you're going to get it, or you don't really care?
I've gotten my L's, so I'm starting to practice and everything, but I'm not in a particular rush just because I want to like get all my practice in instead of just going straight into it. So I've gotten my L's, and then I think it's 50 hours of experience you have to drive, and then you get your P's, and then I think it's your red P's in the end from a year after you've started driving. But I'm sort of just going slowly into it rather than like rushing straight in and driving like crazy and everything, just so I can sort of get my experience built up before I start driving by myself and everything.
That's funny. Just saw the different, I said the different generations, the different things. Have you got a mobile phone and everything? You guys got one of them straight away, or how long have you had a mobile for?
I had a mobile phone because we used to walk to school and take the bus. So we just had a phone that it was one of those small iPhone 4s that like had no features on it. And we would just send mum a message or call her that we're getting on the bus and whatever. But I didn't have a proper phone until I think year 7 or year 8. And it was just to call my mum and tell her, oh, I'm at school, or I'm catching the bus right now, and all those things. So it wasn't just use, social media and things.
That's pretty cool. It is
Yeah.
a pretty good safety device. It's funny, yeah, because I didn't get my first mobile until like after high school. They just weren't a thing.
Wow.
We had to do like, if you want to catch up with somebody, you had to like call them the house phone and be like, make sure you're here
Yeah.
at 10 o'clock at such and such. And if they're not there, like literally, you can be one street apart. You'd be like, oh, well, they never rocked up. But yeah, everyone just takes it for like granted now because everyone's so used to just having it there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's funny. Oh, cool. You got a part-time job or anything? Your parents, I guess the gym would be that maybe.
Not at the moment. I do have my own business that I supply and paint skirting boards, which is like the small things at the bottom of your wall, and then you've got that small protection at the bottom.
Yeah, I want to talk about this. This is actually quite interesting. I didn't know this. You guys,
So I supply and paint those for people. I don't install them because of course I'm not a carpenter or anything, but I supply them. It's sort of just like a side job, just to like, especially since I've like made a website and things, so it sort of like gets me into like understanding how businesses work and everything, especially since I'm like fond of economics and things. So it's good, to have like a sort of a side business to sort of boost up and sort of learn how to communicate with people and everything. So Yeah.
Give yourself a shout out, and also why? Like, how did you get into skirting boards? And
Because I didn't really want to work at like McDonald's or anything,
yeah,
especially like since all those like shifts and all those things, and since my parents they do painting and skirting boards, so they have their own business, and then I just thought that it would be better for me to, rather than like going to Macca's and working there, I can just have sort of my own thing and I can work up towards that. And it's always good to sort of learn how to communicate with people, how to like advertising and then the whole website and things. So it's more of like the experience rather than, the money and everything. So it's I don't know, it was interesting, but it's something nice to, sort of fall back on.
so how did you figure out? Did you do your own website? Did you just go like YouTube it? How did you figure out how to do that?
So I use WordPress,
Yeah.
and I guess it begins with those like 3-hour YouTube videos that you just sit for ages doing. But and then slowly, like at the start, it was quite hard because I wasn't like sure of all the coding, and I used like a theme and everything. But I started at the start, it was quite difficult because I wasn't aware of all the different things. But then after a while, you sort of get used to it. So then I started like doing all the like add-ons and the programs and then understanding how even backlinks work and all those like little things. So yeah, I developed a website and from scratch, which was a bit funny, but it took some time, but in the end it worked out. So
What's your website? Like, give yourself a shout
so
out.
it's octopus skirting. So I don't really know what to say, but basically if you need like supplied skirting boards, you can go onto the website, have a look at some profiles, and then we can organize something. But yeah,
Where did octopus come from?
because my parents do octopus painting, so I thought,
Use the same one.
use octopus skirting. So yeah.
That's pretty cool. Like, but obviously, I've like the kids' books and I've got the podcast. So I'm a big believer in
Yeah.
the whole side hustles. And yeah, as you said, it makes you communicate with customers. So actually, that's another thing that you're growing as a person by this. And when you do go for a job down the track, it's another good thing to add to your resume that you're actually like a business owner and stuff like that. So is it hard to
Yeah.
get customers and stuff? How's your marketing going? You just doing Facebook ads or?
It's lucky because, new generation, you've got like Instagram and all those things. So you just do those advertisements and everything and you sort of build yourself up, and in the end, yeah. I don't get that many, but it's like good enough to, sort of have like a side hustle thing going on.
That's pretty cool. So basically, you just get the orders and then you say, "Hey, mum, dad, I've got this order for 50, whatever it is, lengths of these skirting boards," and then your mum and dad will paint. Or do you paint them, or your mum and dad just paints them and then ships them out for you?
I supply and paint them, so I sort of do the whole thing. So they choose their profile, and then I decide, they choose their like paint type and everything, and then I have to spray paint them and everything, and deliver it and so on. So
You just do that in your
sort of
garage,
like a
the
whole
spray
thing.
painting,
No, we've got like a little workshop thing, so
just at your
on
house or
the
like down the road, a workshop or something.
workshop, yeah. So we spray paint them and everything. So I've had to learn that whole process as well, whole supplying and painting and everything. So it's a bit full on, but it's good.
That's pretty. Do you spray paint both sides of the skirting boards, or because one's going onto the water?
You just do one side, but you've got a few coats and you have to like go through the whole sanding process and ensuring like there's no blemishes and things. So you do it like 2 coats of spray paint and you have the primer and everything. And then so you've got like oil-based and water-based paint. So depending on what the customer wants, like how their color's going on and everything. So you paint it and then you supply it to them. And then my parents they are owners of skirting boards Perth and Octopus Skirting and Decorating. So they supply paint and install skirting boards. So they go through the whole process of installing them as well. So
That's
yeah.
pretty cool.
So, yeah.
That's pretty cool to actually, yeah. It's funny when you actually start like these podcasts, like you meet up with someone and you start chatting to them about like one subject, but then they end up, oh yeah, I'm doing this, I've got this, oh this has happened to me, this, you know, then you can just go on. So you just so you can end up like touching on like 5 or 10 different like subjects. So interesting.
Yeah.
Hey,
Because I was watching a few of your.
you go.
Oh, you can continue. It's fine.
I know you
And
go.
I was just watching a few of your podcasts, and it was interesting to like hear about other people's lives. You don't realize how much people have to talk about their lives and how different it is to yours, especially like learning about, like hearing about their experiences. And it's funny how you start from one topic and then move on to like a completely different one in the end.
Yeah, and like we were saying, like I don't even see this stuff coming. I hit one girl up, so I'm going to have Deborah come on the show, who used to work with the mining, God, 15 years ago or something like that. And yeah, I was just going to get her to come on about the her CrossFit and her forward driving and stuff. But then like she said, oh yeah, I could probably talk about like my domestic abuse and all this other type of stuff. I'm like, whoa, didn't even know you went through like any of this type of stuff. She's like, oh yeah, this has happened. So I'm quite happy to share about this because yeah, the audience can learn from it. As you said, like, yeah, you never know what other people have been through. And like, even like the negative stuff, you might think that you're the only one going through it, but then like you hear on the podcast, and like, God, heaps of people been going through it. So you can just figure out, like, listen to how they got out of that situation, so you too can learn to get out of that situation. Or as with your situation, you're 16, you got your own online business. I'm pretty sure lots of like 15, 16-year-olds go, oh no, I'm too young for that type of stuff. And they're like, they see you and you're sanding, you're spray painting, you're taking the orders. Yeah, it's awesome stuff. That's awesome. All right, cool. All right, might wrap it up. Anything else you want to leave with?
Just stay true to yourself and join MMA. It's fun to do, and it's good that hopefully people listening that understand that, because I know like quite a few people have probably gone through negative experiences in their lives, but it's a good way to sort of sit back and see how those things have possibly positively impacted you rather than look at the negative side of things. Because even though bullying is such like a big thing, without it, and my parents, I wouldn't be doing what I love doing today and MMA, and I wouldn't have built up the self-confidence and everything. So it's interesting how small things in lives can turn into big things. So
I reckon that was a pretty good like way to end the show.
Yeah, thank you.
Like little words of wisdom. I'll better do like the little outros and stuff. Oh, yep. So we're gonna wrap it up here. Oh, I just want to say thanks for coming on the show. Did you have fun?
Yes, thank you for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to do this.
You're welcome. Oh well, yeah, that's a wrap. Like to thank you again for coming on the show, and I'd like to thank you, the listener, for listening. Please tell a friend about the podcast and have a fantastic day. All right, bye.